The Young and the Restless spoilers shock Thurdays, full episode September 5, 2024. Chelsea Lawson had always been a woman of complex emotions, but never before had she felt such a deep sense of guilt. The consequences of her actions weighed heavily on her, and she knew there was only one way to make things right. She had to come clean, to confess her role in the chaos that had torn apart the lives of those she cared about, specifically, the love that had once existed between Adam Newman and Sally Spectra. For weeks, Chelsea had watched the aftermath of her manipulation unfold. She had seduced Adam, luring him away from Sally, convincing herself that it was for the best. But as the dust settled, Chelsea realized the enormity of her mistake. Adam was a good man, despite his flaws, and he had truly loved Sally. By coming between them, Chelsea had not only hurt Adam but had also shattered the fragile happiness Sally had found in his arms. Driven by a need for redemption, Chelsea sought out Sally. It was not an easy decision, confronting the woman whose life she had so thoroughly disrupted, but it was necessary. She found Sally at her office, preparing for yet another day of meetings and deadlines. Sally looked up as Chelsea entered, her expression guarded. "Chelsea, what are you doing here? I thought we agreed to stay out of each other's way." Chelsea took a deep breath, her hands trembling slightly as she spoke. "I know, Sally, but I needed to talk to you. I needed to apologize. I'm the reason Adam isn't with you anymore. I'm the one who seduced him, who pulled him away. He didn't do anything wrong, he still loves you, Sally, and I can see that you love him too." Sally's eyes widened in surprise. She had suspected that Chelsea might have had a hand in her breakup with Adam, but hearing the confession straight from Chelsea's lips was something else entirely. For a moment, she was speechless, her mind racing as she processed what she had just heard. I don't understand," Sally finally managed to say. "Why would you do that? Why would you come between us like that?" Chelsea's gaze dropped to the floor, shame washing over her. "I was selfish, Sally. I was confused and hurting, and I thought that by being with Adam, I could find some kind of solace. But all I did was ruin everything. I'm so sorry. I didn't realize how much you two meant to each other until it was too late." Sally felt a pang of sympathy for Chelsea, despite the anger simmering just below the surface. She had been deeply in love with Adam, but after the betrayal, she had convinced herself that it was over, that she couldn't trust him anymore. But now, hearing Chelsea's confession, everything seemed to shift. Adam had loved her, still loved her, and Chelsea had been the one to drive the wedge between them. "Adam really still loves me?" Sally asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Chelsea nodded, tears welling up in her eyes. "Yes, Sally, he does. And I know he regrets everything that happened. Please, if there's any way you can forgive him, if you still love him, don't let what I did ruin your chance at happiness." Sally felt the walls she had built around her heart begin to crumble. She had never stopped loving Adam, but the fear of being hurt again had kept her from reaching out. Now, with Chelsea's confession, she realized that perhaps she had been too quick to push him away. But there was still the matter of trust, a fragile thing that had been shattered once before. "I do love him, Chelsea," Sally admitted, her voice wavering. "But I'm scared. I'm scared that if I let him back in, he'll hurt me again." Chelsea reached out, placing a comforting hand on Sally's arm. "I understand, Sally. Trust is hard to rebuild, but if anyone can do it, it's you and Adam. You have something special, something worth fighting for. Don't let fear stand in the way of that." Sally nodded, feeling a spark of hope ignite within her. "Maybe you're right. Maybe I should give Adam another chance." Chelsea smiled, relief flooding through her. She had done the right thing, and now, perhaps, she could begin to make amends for the damage she had caused. But there was still one more thing she needed to do. "Before I go," Chelsea said, her voice softening, "I just wanted to say that I think Billy is a good man. He's been there for me when I needed him, and I know he's hurting right now. Maybe you should think about reaching out to him, too. He's made mistakes, but he's worth forgiving." Sally considered Chelsea's words carefully. Billy Abbott had always been a complex figure in her life, a friend, a confidant, and at times, a rival. He had his flaws, but deep down, Sally knew that he had a good heart. Perhaps, like Chelsea and Adam, he was worth giving another chance. As Chelsea left the office, Sally felt a renewed sense of purpose. There were wounds to heal, bridges to rebuild, and relationships to mend. And it all started with a simple act of forgiveness. Meanwhile, in another part of Genoa City, Sally rejoined Chloe and Summer at a conference room table, the tension of the earlier conversation with Chelsea still lingering in the back of her mind. They were deep in discussions about the upcoming launch of their new venture, Marchetti Z, a youth-focused fashion line that promised to shake up the industry with its competitive pricing and innovative designs. Summer, with her sharp business acumen and eye for trends, had been instrumental in developing the concept. She was confident that Marchetti Z would be a resounding success, and her enthusiasm was infectious. "This is going to be huge," Summer said, her eyes gleaming with excitement. "We've got the designs, we've got the market research, and now we just need to make sure the launch goes off without a hitch. With Chloe's expertise and Sally's creative vision, we're unstoppable." Sally smiled, feeling a sense of pride in what they were about to achieve. "I agree, Summer. This is our chance to make a real impact in the fashion world. We just need to stay focused and push through." But even as she spoke, Sally's mind kept drifting back to Adam. The possibility of reconciliation was now firmly planted in her thoughts, and she knew she couldn't ignore it. She had a decision to make, one that could change everything. As the meeting wrapped up, Summer turned to Sally. "Are you okay? You seem a little distracted." Sally hesitated for a moment before nodding. "Yeah, I'm fine. Just a lot on my mind. But I'm excited about Marchetti Z. Let's make this happen." Summer smiled, but there was a knowing look in her eyes. "If you need to talk, you know where to find me." With the meeting concluded, Sally knew she had to make a decision about Adam. But before she could, there was another storm brewing, one that would shake the very foundations of Genoa City. Victor Newman, always a master of manipulation, had grown increasingly concerned with Billy Abbott's involvement in various aspects of the Newman family's business. Billy had been a thorn in Victor's side for years, and now, with Chancellor Abbott on the brink of collapse, Victor saw an opportunity to strike. He had summoned Billy to his office, the tension between them palpable as they faced off across the desk. "Billy, I'm going to give you one last piece of advice," Victor said, his voice low and menacing. "Be careful. You've made too many enemies, and you're about to lose everything you've worked for. This is your last chance to walk away before it's too late." Billy's eyes blazed with anger. He had always resented Victor's interference in his life, and the thought of losing everything he had fought so hard for was unbearable. "You think you can scare me, Victor? You think I'm just going to roll over and let you take everything from me? Well, you're wrong." Victor leaned back in his chair, a smug smile playing on his lips. "I've heard threats like that before, Billy. They don't mean much to me anymore. But you should be careful what you say. Sometimes, a man with nothing to lose can be the most dangerous." Billy's fists clenched at his sides. "You don't understand, Victor. I've already lost so much. If you push me any further, I'll make sure you lose everything, too. Your power, your empire, none of it will be safe. If I have to burn it all down to take you with me, I will." Victor's expression hardened, but there was a flicker of recognition in his eyes. He had seen men like Billy before, men driven to the edge, willing to do whatever it took to survive. But Victor Newman was no stranger to danger, and he wasn't about to let anyone, least of all Billy Abbott, threaten his legacy.